Hey there. Is there anything more engaging than a book where you, the reader, get to make the decisions? A choose your own adventure book is like something straight out of Harry Potter, right? It's got its own magic. How about creating your own, complete with graphics for you and your friends to play on the internet? Well, in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to show you how to get your students doing exactly that using Google Forms. I'm Rob McTaggart. Welcome to the first ever episode of On Edge. So all I'm going to do now is open a new tab, and on here we're going to go to Google Drive, which you can just type drive.google.com if you like, or you can Google Google Drive. From here, inside your Google Drive, you're going to go to New, which is a button up here. It could be red, blue, or something else. And Google Forms is not shown here. So let's go to More and click on Google Forms. A whole new tab is now opened. This is what it looks like when you're starting a brand new form. The first thing I like to do is name the file. So the file name I might put as the name of the book. I really should have thought of a type of book to do. Let's call it something about school. The Teacher's Demise. And you'll see when you name the file that, the actual title of the form changes to that, but you can change it to something different. This first form description is actually where you're going to start writing the story. It's kind of like page 1. It could be an introduction if you prefer, and it's already set up with a multiple choice question. Now you remember, we can only do multiple choice questions. Although Google Forms does offer many types of ways to answer, multiple choice questions, just like in a choose your own adventure book, are the only way that the book can kind of say, well, if you choose this, go to this page or section. If you choose that, go to this page or section. So we're going to put in our very quick story. I'm going to go really quickly, so it's going to be a very poor story. You are the teacher. The students are laughing, at you because you are covered in tar and feathers. Untitled question. What do you do? So that's where you're going to put the question that they're going to answer. Option 1, yell at the students. And we're going to add an option by clicking add option there. Don't add other, because other, when you click it, it allows them to click other, but then the reader can actually put a response and write one down. So it doesn't really work with a book. So instead of that, I'll just press the X to get rid of it. Sigh and walk out of the classroom. Now, you can choose whether or not to put full stops. Now here's where we get to something really interesting and a part where students sometimes fall down. It's very simple though. Firstly, they need to click required. As you'll recall from the example, that means that the reader can't just press next without having answered the question. If they were to do that, it would just take them to the next section. We'll talk about sections in a moment. The next part is that you have to click this little menu with 3 dots next to the required switch. And in there, you need to click go to section based on answer. You'll see here now, it has options for where to go when you click on either or any of the answers. Let's make some new sections now so we can send people there. So that's this little hamburger here, add a section. And we'll add another section. You don't have to have a title for each section, but I find it really helps when you're telling when you're actually making this and you're telling it where to go for each section. It's kind of like titling the page. You might think of it as a chapter. So for this section, I'm going to have it for when they yell at the students. Yelling, I'm going to call this section, and section 3 I'm going to call leaving. For yelling, let's click in the description and start typing. You yell all sorts of profanities at these students. Just at that moment, the principal walks into the room. Congratulations, you have lost your job and you are eating baked beans for dinner all week. You know what that feels like. Now, after section 2, we're going to have it submit form, and that's what you have for the end of the story. For this section, when you're leaving, you sigh and walk out of the room. You take a deep breath outside as the principal walks past. She hands you a wipe to clean yourself up. Now, just to remind you, what you want to do now is click this little plus here to add a question. We want to make sure it's multiple choice, and we can put what do you say to her? Option 1, I quit. Add option. Can you please look after the class while I clean myself up? And what I'm going to do now, as you remember, hopefully, click required, click the little menu next to it, and click go to section based on answer. So I'm going to click the hamburger now, create another couple of sections. Now, with my sections here, I'm going to title them Quitting and Cleaning Up. Okay, so for quitting, you quit. You're a quitter. That's why you're eating bread and sauce for dinner this month. Instead of continuing to the next section, we just submit the form. We don't want to add a question or anything. And for the description here, cleaning up, you go and clean up while the kind principal looks after your class. When you get back, they have had a stern talking to and are fantastic for the rest of the day. Well done. Now, what I'm going to do is add a few pictures. Well, for starters, because that's the last section, you don't need to click for it to submit the form or anything. It just will. The very last section is the end, unless you tell it to go somewhere else. Let's add a few pictures just to make it look good. The first thing, you can click up here to change the color palette, but instead click the bottom right one, which is changing the image. Google has given lots of images that you can use, especially if you're using forms for all sorts of different things, like party invitations or that kind of thing. But instead we're going to upload photos. So we're going to click here, upload photos. You can select them from your computer or drag them in. I'm going to open a new tab, Control T. And I'm going to do a search for a picture that's a good kind of a wide one. Because as you can see, this is a very wide banner. You're not going to see very much of it going up or down. So the first thing I usually type is banner. And then I'm going to type school building. click images, I have here a whole lot of images that Google knows of from different websites, and most of them you'll find are copyright. We don't have the right to use them. So instead I'm going to click on Tools, Usage Rights, and usually I just pick Labeled for Use. Now we can't be absolutely sure without checking on the websites themselves that we do have the right to use these. They would need to be either Creative Commons or public domain or some other kind of shareable license on them rather than copyright. But this is at least a good effort for students to make. I'll pick one. Let's go with, this looks like a cool kind of school. And it's from Wikipedia, so we can be pretty sure that we can use it. Now the first thing we want to do is right click and don't save the link. Saving the link will actually save where it links to, which is the Wikipedia page that it's linking to. Our website page is of no use to us. Look, a lot of students will do it. That's probably what's going on. It'll say there's an HTML file or a PHP file instead. What you want to do is click on Save Image As. Now you'll find in different versions of Chrome it might say something slightly different, like just Save Image. Or if you're using Edge or Internet Explorer, it might say Save Picture As. But either way we want to save it. And it's the picture we're after. I'm going to save that. Now it's good to keep note of which folder you're actually saving it to. But if you are using Chrome, the great thing is you can just drag it from the bottom there straight in, and you don't have to go and find it on your computer. We're going to have to crop it. Let's crop the door and select. Here it is, and the banner's there. You can see some of it, and it's taken some colors from it to make this color here. Now you can use the same method to add images to the whole section, which is what I'd recommend if you're going to do any images. You can use it to add them to answers or to questions. Now that could get very tedious if you add them to all of those. I would not recommend that. We've pretty much done our story. Look, it's very short, this one, but it's just an example for you. In settings, you may have an extra option here if you're part of an organisation to only allow people who are signed in under that organisation to use it. Let me give an example. If your school, if your whole school system is providing you with Google Apps for Education, now known as G Suite for Education, then you can click it so that only people who are signed in under your school system or department are actually able to view it, which may be a good little safety thing for your students. It's up to you whether you want them to use that or not. Other than that, the main thing you want to do is look at what it's like and test it. So you can click preview here, the little eyeball, and try it out. Make sure you can't click next on each of them. Make sure your spelling's right. Make sure places go where they're expected to. Make sure it looks like how you want it to look. Back. Can't say much for this colour scheme, but hey, that's fine. So I've ended up at yelling again when I clicked the second option. So that is not working. If I go back, I can very easily fix that. I didn't tell it where to go. This one is for yelling. This one is for leaving, and I apologise for that. This one is for quitting, and this one is for cleaning up. Now it should work. Now remembering that this is cloud-based, so you don't have to save it. Every change you make is actually saved as you go. Sign, walk out of the classroom, go next. Leaving, great. Can you please look after the class? Next. And there you have it. So, all you need to do now to finish it is click send. You don't actually have to physically send it to anyone. You probably just want to get a link to it. If you'd like your students to embed it on one of their blogs, you could get an embed code. Getting the link is a great way to do it. You can shorten that URL and make it a bit easier for people. Still not that short. Click copy, and there you have it. Once you've done that, hey, why not drop it underneath in the comments and we can all have a look at it. Perhaps some other teachers can use it as examples to show their class. So there you have it. I can almost guarantee your students are going to love creating their own choose your own adventure stories using Google Forms. That was nowhere near the potential of Google Forms for integrating with different subjects, and I'm going to be showing you more over the next couple of videos. And if you've enjoyed this particular lesson, please like and subscribe below. I hope you've enjoyed the first ever episode of On Edge. Till next time.